Do it, do it, do it.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Soulfield on Sunday, April 27th. I can't believe it's the end of April already. The time
Mhm.
just is going, going, gone.
Are we pinned?
We are pinned and we're live. So
Live and pin. Awesome.
we're continuing today with our series that we've been working with. And today we're going to really talk about, in the context of really revering and living your divinity, what it means to really know who you are as a spiritual being. And we're going to go into that and dance with that a little bit.
Yes. Before we start, let's bring our candles and call forth the temple of divine perfection. Is that area that exists above your head, and it's a place where you can just anything that you've accumulated during a week or month or years, you can just leave it there to be transformed, to be recycled, to be completed, anything that you need. The Temple of Divine Perfection is available to you. And so, as we are diving into the soul field here together with all of our relations, all those people that are here joining live and joining in the eternal now. Let's take a moment to be completely present, to
Mm.
settle our energy and to ask what's for you here today in this communion with others. And we'll start with the opening prayer.
We come with grateful, reverent, and open hearts to drink from the deep well of our eternal nature. As we dive into the soul field together, we are held in a sacred and holy embrace by the source of all love, light, and grace. In this eternal now, we actively invoke our unique pathways to source and the beings of love light that support our divine evolving. We allow our mind, body, spirit to expand into the holy realms where magic and miracles are commonplace. As we minister to ourselves, we minister to one another and our family humanity. We are one in the holy wholeness. We allow all we do here today to ripple out through our lives as a living witness of divine grace for the benefit of all our relations.
Con corazones abiertos, reverentes y llenos de gratitud, venimos a beber del profundo pozo de nuestra naturaleza eterna. Al sumergirnos juntos aquí en el campo del alma, somos envueltos en un abrazo sagrado por la fuente de todo amor, luz y gracia divina. En este ahora eterno, invocamos nuestros caminos hacia el Creador y hacia los seres de amor y luz que apoyan nuestra evolución divina. Permitimos que nuestro cuerpo, alma y espíritu se expandan hacia los reinos sagrados, donde la magia y los milagros ocurren constantemente. A medida que nos amamos a nosotros mismos, así amamos al prójimo y a toda nuestra familia humana, reconociendo que somos uno en la totalidad sagrada. Permitamos que todo lo que se haga aquí hoy repercute en nuestras vidas como un testimonio vivo de la gracia divina para el beneficio de todos.
Mm.
Mm. So, moving to affirmations.
Yes.
Mm. So this affirmations, what we'll do is, for those that are doing with us for the first time, we tap the thymus area right in the chest, or we can rub our earlobes where all of the meridian points are stored.
Could you take it off for just a minute, Nance, so that they can see us? Because I think, yeah, so we're going to rub on the earlobes around the edge of the earlobe,
Yeah.
getting all those acupuncture points, or tapping on the sternum. Yeah.
Yes. Like 3 inches below your collarbone. And so I'll say the first sentence and you can repeat. If you want to repeat it out loud, that will be actually better to
Mhm.
repeat it out loud. And we're going to do that 3 times.
Mhm.
I open to the sacred pearl of my divinity.
I open to the sacred pearl of my divinity.
I invoke the 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensional light bodies to fully illuminate my biospiritual system.
I invoke my 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensional light bodies to fully illuminate my biospiritual system.
I rejoice and delight in my angelic embodiment.
I rejoice and delight in my angelic embodiment.
Eternal wisdom reshapes my life into ever expanding beauty.
Eternal wisdom reshapes my life into ever expanding beauty.
And 2 more times. I open to the sacred pearl of my divinity.
I open to the sacred pearl of my divinity.
I invoke my 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensional light bodies to fully illuminate my biospiritual system.
I invoke my 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensional light bodies to fully illuminate my biospiritual system.
I rejoice and delight in my angelic embodiment.
I rejoice and delight in my angelic embodiment.
Eternal wisdom reshapes my life into ever expanding beauty.
Eternal wisdom reshapes my life into ever expanding beauty.
This is like we're infusing ourselves with this sentences, this energy. I open to the sacred pearl of my divinity.
I open to the sacred pearl of my divinity.
I invoke my 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensional light bodies to fully illuminate my biospiritual system.
I invoke my 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensional light bodies to fully illuminate my biospiritual system.
I rejoice and delight in my angelic embodiment.
I rejoice and delight in my angelic embodiment.
Eternal wisdom reshapes my life into ever expanding beauty.
Eternal wisdom reshapes my life into ever expanding beauty.
Oh, feeling it.
Wow.
Wow. It's like we're infusing, soaking all of that
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, as I mentioned today, we're really working on knowing and clarifying our true nature in order to live the frequency of our divinity. And this aspect, we've done a lot with this series so far that has had kind of a somewhat of an esoteric quality to it. This is a very like pragmatic, like, who are you? And not just like in roles in your life, like I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a like that, but who are you at the essence of your being? The what type of spiritual being are you? What are you here in spiritually? What's your sort of function in the ecosystem of soul of dances here in this dimension?
Yeah. And I think that as we get to know ourselves, we get to know, of course, the traumas that shaped us, our belief systems we grew up with, acculturations, all of the stuff we've been talking about throughout um, our experiences. And I think that sometimes we can learn a lot about ourselves through this physical experience, but sometimes we forget to ask, like, oh, wait a minute, and what about my spiritual being? Like, what kind of spiritual am I? What are my belief systems about that? Or what are some tools that I can use to explore how I show up spiritually in this world?
Yeah. And this is really like getting to know like what are your soul level and or we might call innate gifts. Like what are they? We're gonna ask some questions, inquiry questions, and ultimately we're gonna give you in the chat thread a little handout that has these on. So if you want to take notes, you can, but you're gonna get these questions. Oh, okay, you're putting them up now. Could we take them down just for a minute, Nance? Let's
Okay.
just talk about it and then give it to them. Um, so it's like this quality of soul comes in, we come in, we incarnate, We incarnate through a lineage, we incarnate at a particular time in culture. But there's a thread of the essence of our nature and the essence of why we came here. Like, why did we come here? We have some songs that we've played on this Soulfield experience of like, remember why you came here. And this is really like at the deep level of soul. And our life is designed like it will grow things in us. It will give us the experiences to strengthen and bring forward those soul level, innate divine gifts to bring forth our nature. Like Nancy was talking about the traumas, the this, the that. And we'll have these like yearnings, these deep like callings. I really desire to whatever, like when I was a kid, I knew like all I knew is like I want to help people. That's what I knew. Like, oh, that's why I'm here, you know? So we'll have these, and then it takes different forms. I also like wanted to be the prima ballerina who what little girl that takes ballet doesn't want to be that, right? But but we have these like deep, deep knowings, and they're part of our clues, right? How the life is, what life is designing for us, the things that we're natural with, that we are just sort of like people would say, like a God-given gift, so to speak. And we'll know some of what the nature of our spiritual being is because when we're doing things that are in alignment with the nature of who we often will feel most like ourselves. Like it will be this quality of like, I feel like me, like the essence of me, Luminaria, when I'm in sacred service, for example. And so that's a clue. I'm a servant, right? That's part of my spiritual nature. And and so there are these ways we can know clues. And Nance, do you want to take some of them? I'm kind of like rambling on here.
Yeah. For me, I've always liked to read a bunch of stuff and simplify. And I had no idea really that that was anything special, magical. But whenever I would explain to people how the meridian system works or all the stuff that I learned about energy, I was like, oh yeah, I can read and translate. That's no big deal. But when I started studying my human design, when I started studying different aspects of my spirituality, it was sort of like my calling was to bring very basic examples of life into complicated systems.
Mhm.
And it just comes natural. I don't have to force myself to be that. It's just something that I'm able to do. Even when I'm teaching classes, I'm able to bring that aspect. And so something that I'm learning to do also and continue to learn is all of this information that I have that I've learned throughout many, many, many years of exposing myself since I was a baby to spirituality, to listening to angels, to learning about energy psychology, all of that. I'm like, well, doesn't everybody know? Like, everybody knows this. And one of my, I guess, ways in which I am called to present myself spiritually is in saying, can you translate that? Can you share it in simple terms for others to understand? And there's many other ways, of course, that I feel like spiritually I'm showing up, but that's just one example that comes.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned something I think that was really key. When we're in that process of discovery, like in addition to these sort of inquiry questions we're going to give you, one of the things we can use is various different codification systems that are tracking that intersection between soul and embodiment. So, like looking at your natal chart in astrology, like I just recently found out that I never somehow I didn't get it that I'm what's called Leo rising. And Leo rising, like that's why part of why I was going to be the prima ballerina. Leo rising is like the king is the energy, right? And like on the stage, in the spotlight, in the center of it all, and magnetic, like people are drawn to that. And that explained so much about my nature, just recognizing that. So sometimes things like that, and Nancy mentioned human design, which is another beautiful codification system that looks at that intersection of soul. One of the things I've been studying recently is the gene keys. It's another system, right? So there are these Enneagram is another system that's looking at the intersection of soul and embodiment. And so we have these codification systems. You can find a practitioner, you can take a little thing online. There's so many ways to access that, and that's a clue. It's not like the thing, but it's a clue. And these clues are really helpful for us, in addition to actually like asking others, people that are really close to you, your besties, your life partner, if you have that, somebody that you work with for a long time, like a therapist, a coach, a mentor, like what do they think your innate soul gifts are? What are they shown about you, right? And so like there's an example, Kevin and I we're actually, some of you know, we were in Kauai celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary. We were in the water, and I'm like, I'm in the ocean. I just want to lay on my back and float and let the waves just do like this. And I'm like, come on, Kevin, float. He's like, I do not like that sensation. We started laughing because he's the anchor and I'm the kite. It's like I am meant to go float in the ethers, and he's the ground. I'm like gonna float there, and so it's like these kinds of experiences that kind of tune you a little bit.
Yeah, and I remember one time I was getting a training on, I think I want to say the seven soul personalities or something like that. And people can be actually profile by their face, the way that the face looks, their eyes. They can even profile a child, of how a child is going to develop according to how their face is designed. And studying all of these things gave me a clue that I am an intellectual person, that I, according to, the way my face is or whatever, I'm more of a scholar. And yes, I mean, I love studying and I love doing that. And also I am a server and I am a priestess. And so I'm combining all of that to be able to bring the whole of who I am into this world in the best way that serves it. And of course, I have done other things that go against my spiritual nature completely. And obviously they're not here anymore, so it didn't work. Um, so I'm able to explore different things and see which one is the one that really feels aligned and it feels so true. And it could be as simple as I just grow plants. That's what I do. My gift is in, like, my mom has a green thumb, and oh my gosh, she just cuts a little piece of something, puts it in the ground, and things grow. Like, that's her magic, right? And so if we can find that magic in us, I think it will make it a lot easier for us to live in this spiritual world, in this physical and spiritual world.
There's all different like essences, right? Like some people are the ones that bring joy and the childlike energy and play, and some people are the ones that can nourish and nurture things and life. And there's all different kinds of qualities. One of the things about my spiritual nature that is that I call myself a feeler. Like I'm a clair sentient, clear feeling being. And like I'm a tuner, I'm a barometer, sometimes call myself the canary in the coal mine. So it's like I kind of can know what's happening out there. And that really supports my spiritual nature as a trailblazer, because I can read what's going on and then I can sort of like respond. But what that means in my personal life, when we're talking about how do you take care of yourself, like if we're going to really revere the truth of who we are, we're going to know it and revere it. It means we have to take care of it. And so in my personal life, this can mean that like whatever's happening close to me might as well be happening in me. Like somebody's getting drunk over there and I'm sitting next to them and I'm close to them, I'm going to be affected by that in a way that somebody else who's not clairsentient, who's not a feeler, who isn't designed to like be the princess and the pea and feel the pea 20 mattresses down, they're going to be like, whatever. But for me, I'm affected, and not just energetically, but viscerally. So, one little example of this, we had celebration with our goddaughters on Easter Sunday, and there was so much joy and beauty and light. And there was a part of me that was in all of that. There was another part of me that was in this deep, profound sadness. And I kept saying to Kevin, I don't know why I'm so sad. I'm like so profoundly sad, like almost I just couldn't figure it out. And then I found out that that evening in our time in California, which was the next day in Rome, the Pope had died. This great, from my opinion, this great servant of the divine who really worshiped the Divine Mother and who was such a champion for our planet and for those who are in some way struggling or suffering. And I was like, oh, that's why I was sad. Right. And then it was, then I could place it. But before that, it's like I'm just feeling this thing that I'm connected to, but I don't know what it is, you know.
Yeah. And so when you start learning about yourself, you start noticing in which ways do you perceive information and which ways your intuition comes in. And so, like Luminaria says, she's a clairsentient. She sees when things are going to happen before it happens. I'm a claircognizant. I know things. There's something about like, I know this is the truth. My daughter, she's clairaudient. Like she can hear in someone's voice the truth. People see, feel. So you can tap into your senses and see which one is the one that brings you the most um, experiences or intuitions. And as you get to know yourself, then you start trusting yourself. So,
Mhm.
for example, something that is important for me to do as I am in this space of claircognizant is shut my ego up, shut my thoughts up. That's important for me to do. Like, I need to let go. Whenever I'm like, oh, I have to solve this, I have to tell myself, God, take the wheel. I know nothing. I just want to know your truth. And I let go of my ego, trying to solve, trying to be perfect, trying to have the right answers or whatever. And I just say, what do you want me to do?
Mhm.
But in order for me to be able to release control, first I have to acknowledge that I have control, that I'm controlling stuff. Second, I have to acknowledge that my ego is afraid of making a mistake, saying the wrong thing, blah, 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 blah. And third, I need to learn how to calm myself down so I can nourish that inner voice. Silence
Mhm.
that, be in nature, be in this place where I can be with me with
Yeah.
that. And so for you, we want to do the same. We want you to explore what is yours? How do you cultivate it? What do you need to feed it? You know,
Yeah. Maybe we can put that questionnaire up now and I'll stick it in the
in the
I'm
chat.
in the chat thread so you can download it if you'd like. We made this little
Yeah. So if you have your journals or if you want to just type it in your computer, your phone, whichever, you can take a screenshot if you want. I'll read it aloud just in case someone is listening to this and not seeing the video. The questions are, what are your soul level and or innate gifts? What has your life grown or blossomed in you? What are your deepest callings and yearnings? What are you doing or being when you feel most like you or when you like being you most? What does your natal chart clarify or point to? Or you can use other systems like human design, gene keys, Enneagram, seven spiritual types. What do others say about you and how do they experience you? So these are just questions for you to maybe look at and explore as you are um, exploring this week, this month, what you bring into this world. What are
Mhm.
your gifts that you bring into this world? How do you show up spiritually?
Yeah. And for some reason, I'm having a hard time getting that copied into the chat. So at some point, we'll get that in the chat, but it won't be there right now. But it's coming to
I'll
you.
attach it as a
Okay. And so, really, we're talking about the discovery part of this, but we've also been weaving in this energy, as Nancy and I are sharing, of not just discovering, but also exploring, like, what does that mean? And also coming into radical acceptance, right? So if I don't radically accept that one of my aspects, one of the nature of this spiritual being is to be clairsentient, which means I sense and feel things in my body that are happening out there, whether that be viscerally or emotionally, or even in the feeling tone of the sort of like quality of mental. If I don't accept that, then I'm judging myself. And instead of bringing the support and saying, okay, because this is my sacred gift, how do I make it so that I can, for example, be at a party? I remember when my gifts were really coming online, I would go to a party and like touch my friend on the shoulder, and I would feel the download of everything that's going on for him. And I would be like, whoa, what's happening in your shoulder? And they're like, what? And I couldn't turn it off. And people kind of liked that on a certain level, because I'm just like, but I did not like it, because I'm always sensing and feeling. And like, I would feel the tsunami happening and whatever, and I'd be in bed for days and not know what was going on. And I had to learn how, I had to accept this is who I am. It's not a defect in me. It's part of my sacred nature. It's part of what allows me to do what I'm here to do. But then how do I take care of that? How do I care for myself? And so for me, that meant, as this feeler trailblazer that I am, discovering and developing specific supports for that. So things like opening the portal to the temple of divine perfection that we do at the beginning of this is one of those things, like clearing out what we've absorbed of others, or using boundary tap, which some of you have known and we've done here before, or some of the sacred geometric light emanations, like the standard infinity of light, which is centering and creating a fortifying boundary, using therapeutic gemstones, taking certain flower essences, right? These are things that I've learned to support me. And then, of course, that helps me support others. And it helps me to be able to hone the gift so that I'm really living in the beauty of it rather than feeling at the mercy of it. Like, instead of feeling pummeled by everything I'm sensing around me and unable to maintain my center and my volition, I'm centered, I'm volitional, and that's information. And I can listen when I want, and I can turn it off when I want, unless it's like divine assignment and then it just comes in and I know, like, okay, got it.
Yeah. When when we are tapping into who we are, there is sometimes a sign that says, I really like who I am when I am doing this. I really like how I feel when I am expressing myself this way. It's sort of like the body will tell you. The body will tell you when you are at your best. And the body will also tell you when you need to be like, this is not good. This is not good for me. The body um, expresses itself through disease, discomfort, stress, etc. But I know that I'm sure that most of you have experienced when you are in complete flow, when you're in alignment, like there's no pain, there's no tiredness, and that's sort of like a sign to get started in seeing, oh my gosh, when I am in service, I feel so energized. I feel so full of this, I don't know, this magic that all of my body is in complete congruence with this.
Mhm.
Um, I was looking to see if I could give you a real quick. We are building a resource page on our website. I'll look for the link in a minute, but we're starting to put little videos there and information. So you start gathering resources so you get to know yourself and also you get to support yourself as you are
Okay. Yeah.
exploring this, who you are.
Yeah. And one of the main things that I would say is, once you're in that place of honoring and accepting and revering, like knowing, honoring, accepting, revering your true nature, then it's like, how do I care for that? Because, as Nancy said, when we're caring for ourselves, the nature of who we experience more flow, more grace, more ease. And so we can enter into meditation and we can listen, like ask. That's how, in terms of like how these sacred methodologies come through that then I am able to share with others. It's because I'm asking like, how do I do this? How do I care for myself? Or I'm with a client, how do I care for them? You will be shown. You'll be shown through like little subtle impulses or little subtle callings, desires. You might have visions, you might have dreams. You might have someone in the world invite you, like, hey, you want to go to this class with me? And then you can kind of like hear something in the title or what they're describing, and you're like, oh, I think I need that, but you don't know why. Right. So if you ask the question, how do I care for the nature of who I am spiritually, it will be shown to you. Right.
Yeah. And when when we're starting to explore the spiritual nature of our being, sometimes our mind gets in the way. Sometimes we start doubting, or we think that we're not able to, or I'm not as good at luminaria or whatever. And we are a unique imprint. We have our gifts, and each one of you watching this now, watching this in the eternal now, has a unique way of expressing your spiritual nature that does not have to be the same as either of us,
Mm,
because it's sort of like we are a drop of the ocean, right? And each drop has a job, has a purpose and a way of expressing itself. One is on the surf, on the top, the other one is pushing, the other one is on the bottom, feeding. Like there's very different ways of expressing ourselves, and each of
mm,
them is magical. So it's
absolutely.
not one better or worse than the other. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. And I was just affirming what you were saying exactly. It's like another way to say that is we are all a needed part of this sacred ecosystem. And even though like there might be some of you who are also, for example, clairsentient or who are also claircognizant, like the way you do that is different perhaps, and what you need might be different, right? So one of the things that can clue you in on how to take care of yourself is to really think about your life and go like, when have I done things or been in experiences that really center me, that really feel like, oh, super nourishing. So like where I am right now, I'm sitting in my RV, I'm camping out in Duncan's Mills, and this is a place where that feeds my spirit. It like nourishes me. I get here and something in me goes, oh, and so for me and my spiritual nature, this is unique medicine. And you'll find for you, like there are other people who are like, yeah, camping's nice, but that's different than like, oh, that's unique medicine. And so there's different ways that your great spirit, once you are honoring who you really are, will show you what you need to vitalize that, to bring that what it needs, so that you are not at the mercy of the sacred gifts, but that they're really sort of this beautiful volition that moves through your life. And I'm just realizing that my candle is melting and the wax is all over my computer.
The um I know that um for me, for example, when I go into the ocean, I can just forget everything and everyone when I'm sitting in front of the ocean. I could just be there for hours and just stare. And that's such a peaceful moment for me. I don't look at my phone. I don't see anybody. It's just, wow, there's something about that energy that moves me, right? But I know other people that love to be in the woods, just between this big trees or just absorbing that energy. So nature is a really place to start finding the gifts that you have. But what's really most important is not necessarily the place, is that you make space for it. Because I realized the other day, I was like, whoa, I have not made space for quieting my mind. I have not made space for tapping in. I've been working, and going over here and doing over there, blah, 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 and I have not quieted down and
Mm-hmm.
made space to listen and to be present. And the space doesn't have to be super long. It could be 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I do need a vacation, but like, you know, I think that we can make that space and
Mm-hmm.
continue spaces to stay connected. We get so distracted. We live in a world that is like, give me your attention, give me, that we forget to tap in.
And this is even like why this whole series about being devoted to living in our divinity, like really revering our true nature. So we're going to shift gears now. We're going to move into some sacred support for you in this way. We're going to utilize a sacred geometric light emanation. For those of you who aren't familiar with that, this is a way of accessing sacred and intelligent light frequencies to intercommunicate in your biospiritual system. It's like literally light and form, which is the language of our biospiritual system. So we bypass the cognitive mind and give ourselves exactly what we need to support. Today, we're going to use a geometry called a Chesterhedron. Do you have the ability to put that up, Nance? This is a sort of a line drawing, or it's not a drawing, it's kind of a three-dimensional metal representation and picture of that, of the Chesterhedron. So you can see that there are three triangles, one at the base, um, and then the three on the sides. And if we put those three on the sides together, they might make a pyramid, but when you open them up a little bit, it creates this kite-like structure that's in the center. And this geometry is has all these magical properties. I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but what I will say is that when it spins, it creates a sort of vortex energy. And that vortex and the shape of this structure, the Chesterhedron, is what they're actually starting to think is the shape of the physical heart. So we're going to invoke this geometry with a particular flame, and the flame is the flame of ultimate self-understanding. And this is a kind of a beautiful yellow light, but it's like a rainbow of yellow from the very lightest to the very brightest yellow metallic light. And this is about aligning and understanding our true nature, bringing in the frequencies we need to live that, reminding us back to self and soul when we get caught up in referencing others or cultural referencing. So that was what Nancy was alluding to when she's like, don't compare yourselves. Like, this is about you knowing you, you connecting to you. And we're just trained culturally to do this weird comparison thing that takes us out of our essence, unfortunately. So we're going to do some meditation and then we're going to invoke this. And I think we can take that down now. We just want to give you a visual. This is not a visualization meditation. So you don't have to be able to remember the geometry. You don't have to be able to visualize it. It's going to be, we're going to call it very large. It's an invocation around your body and energy field. And what we're going to do is call that in and then take you on a journey to the sacred pearl of your incarnation, where you can enter into a kind of remembrance of why you came here.
Yes. And before we start, I just wanted to add real quick. I put in the chat the link to the website for resources. So it's soulfield.org/resources. If you see, we added some resources there. But you also can come back to these recordings that are on YouTube, so you can always tap into the magic that this meditations and transmissions bring.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as we start feeling into our bodies and preparing for this transmission, this meditation, just remember that the temple of divine perfection is there. So you can release whatever you're carrying. Just put it there. You can pick it up later if you want. And allow yourself to settle into this moment, into your body. Settle in, like grounding yourself in whatever way works for you best. relaxing every muscle and maybe even closing your eyes if that feels right for you, or at least looking down to minimize distractions. And as you're grounding yourself, you may want to slow down your breathing. You may want to relax your jaw, your eyebrows, your shoulders, letting yourself sink in, expanding your energy, releasing the mind and the need to know, control, etc.
As you're landing, feel yourself inviting deep nourishment. So each breath is nourishing you. That settling of the body is nourishing you. That deep surrender into the earth embrace is nourishing you. Feel yourself nourished by the sacred community that is in this eternal now moment with you, breathing and remembering. And feel yourself opening to be nourished by the soul field, by the flame and geometry we're about to invoke, and by the journey of sacred remembering we're about to take together. And so, as you open receptivity, we call forth the flame of ultimate self understanding, the flame that's a metallic yellow rainbow of light, from the lightest to the brightest yellow, to form a chesterhedron, a three-dimensional chesterhedron of light around your entire body and energy field, with the apex of the chesterhedron above the top of the head and the base beneath you. And as this chesterhedron of light comes into form around you, it will begin to spin in whatever way serves the greatest remembering and calibration, the greatest understanding of the truth of who you really are, that will evolve and unfold in exactly the way and rate that's right for you. And you might initially feel the energy of that spinning light, but your biospiritual system will calibrate to that, will finally feel just settled in it. And you give full permission according to your divine blueprint for the awakening, remembering, reharmonization, and balancing that this flame and geometry are bringing to you. And then you feel this energy around the left temple. There's like a vortex of energy there. The outer eye, left outer eye. And it'll just show up for you. You'll just see it, sense it, feel it, know it. And this vortex of energy, you can sort of travel with it, and it will take you into the very pearl, to the very womb of your incarnation, this sacred space, a protected, beautiful space where you can be nourished more fully by the true nature of this incarnation. And so you just simply intend and you follow that. This beautiful, soft, sacred, divine, womb like, pearl like space. And when you arrive there, it will feel so good. And you will be met by some kind of sacred presence, a teacher, a guide, an ally, someone that is to minister and support. And you just feel that presence. And there's a quality of permission, full permission to be nourished, reminded, ministered to. And as that's happening, you'll feel this opening on the left back side of your heart. This beautiful opening. As there's remembering happening, rebalancing and reharmonization. And you might feel the spin of the flame geometry, or the fluid in this sacred womb, in the sacred pearl. And your role is receiving. Receiving the nourishment, the remembering. And if you have a guide or ally there with you, let them lead you in whatever way, or minister to you in whatever way serves your ultimate self-understanding, the nature of the spiritual being that you are. In this sacred space, you're being fortified. And as you're in that fortification, in the receiving, we'll play our song for this series to support you.
I grew up in the desert, maybe that's why I start to panic when I start to cry. I I've always found comfort in a life that is dry. Be strong for your brother, make sure you shine. Can't let him discover the world's dimming light. A small voice of reason sings over the light. Oh, beautiful, magical child of the universe, why do you punish yourself for what you are not? When what you are is already enough. It's early morning, she's sinking like sand. Doubt like a needle pokes holes in her plans. Lets darkness convince her it can see what she can't. The fear makes her cover her ears to the promise I wish she could hear. Oh, beautiful, magical child of the universe, why do you punish yourself for what you are not? When what you are is already enough. You're already Trust in the seasons, eyes on the stars. If you've lost your way, then just follow your heart. Beautiful, magical child of the universe. Oh, beautiful, magical child of the universe. Why do you punish yourself for what you are not? When what you are is already enough. You're already enough. You're already enough.
Mm. And very gently bring your full awareness to this moment, bringing with you all of the magic that you experienced, and feeling yourself grounded, present. And when it feels right, just blink your eyes open and feel the rejuvenation, the connection, this meditation.
And really registering that you have access to that sacred pearl, that sacred womb of nourishment, and remembering that it's simply part of what you are. The word I'm looking for is sort of like given by the very nature of being here. And so it's a matter of tuning to that. And so this meditation, in addition to sort of the geometry and bringing in what we did, is about helping you remember to tune to that. And you can stay connected to that. Like even as you open your eyes, even as you come back, stay, let some part of you stay in that place of nourishment. So it's like you've got one foot in the pool that is the pool of your greatest nourishment as you move through life.
And this recording will be available on YouTube at Soul Feel Experience if you want to come back to it. Um, at our website, soulfeel.org, we'll also have the links to our Facebook group, our Instagram page, our resources. Uh,
Mhm.
anything that you need will be on that on soulfeel.org. And thank you for your tithing, for your donations to make this happen. Every month, we've been doing this for a year, and thank you because it's because of you. We're here because of your tithing, but also your participation, your consistency. Um, you're making the space for you. You're making space in your life for your spirituality to
Mhm.
remember who you are.
Yeah.
Um, our next gathering is the meditation on May 7th. And then our next Soul Feel will be May 11th. And we're really excited. We have something juicy coming up. You want to talk about it, Luminari?
I'm actually, let me just paste. I'm pasting something in the chat thread. It's a link. For those of you who are here live, you won't get this if you're via recording, but for those of you who are here live, if you don't already have us on your calendar, in other words, you don't already have the Soul Field events automatically populating on your calendar, if you click that link and from a phone, or from a computer that has your calendar on it, a Google Calendar, if you just click that link, it will ask you if you want to add the Soul Field calendar, and you can just automatically add it. So some of you have done that through our website, and that's one way, but this is also a more direct way to do it. So I just wanted to offer that. Some people have had a little trouble with that. And I think it's so nice. You'll get a little reminder the day before, you'll get a little 30-minute reminder, and the links will be there, etc., for our events. And that brings us to what Nancy was saying. We also have an event that's coming up live. We are going to be live in San Diego for the summer solstice. Look at that. I love the celebrations. So if you like to travel, you want to take a little summer trip and you're not in San Diego, come join us. It will be on the solstice itself, and that is on June 21st, which is a Saturday. It's so nice that the solstice was like, I'll just be on a Saturday. And so you could travel if you want. If you're there, please join us. It'll be from 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 8 p.m. And we may stay if the weather's nice, we may stay later to tend to fire. There'll be fire ceremony, there will be transformational processes, there will be transmission, there will be play in the group field. But we hope that you will consider marking your calendars and join us there.
Yes. In person. Luminari is going to be
Yeah,
in town.
it's going to be in San Diego. And then that Sunday we'll have Soul Field, and Nancy and I will get to be together for Soul Field on the 22nd. So, we're just really wanting you part of what, excuse me, part of why we're speaking, like we're so blessed to be offering this, and we're so blessed to have those of you who are consistently coming. It's such medicine to your great spirit to take this time and commune and remember, and we are uplifting each other as we do that, right? And so thank you for being here live with us and also in the Eternal Now via recording. We so appreciate you. It's been a year and a half that we've been doing Soulfield now. I mean, it's just like, and here we go. We're just going to keep going.
Yes. Yes. It means a lot to us that you're here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we'll say our closing prayers with that. Whoopsie, that's the opening prayer. We're gonna we're just getting started. Oh, what's going on here?
Hmm.
There we are. Oh, I see. It was just my screen. You were all seeing the closing prayer. So we are deeply grateful to have experienced miraculous communion with our holy wholeness in the soul field. We wholeheartedly receive the upliftment of one another's communion and blessed soul light. As we close this formal gathering, we each in our own way will continue dwelling in the soul field and supporting our collective evolution. With deep gratitude, we thank one another and all our angels, guides, and guardians. Remembering as we minister to ourselves, we uplift one another. We encourage the magic we co created to ripple out to all our relations for the benefit of all beings.
Estamos profundamente agradecidos de haber vivenciado esta comunión de nuestros seres sagrados en el campo del alma. De todo corazón recibimos la elevación del sacramento de cada uno de nosotros y de nuestra bendecida luz del alma. Al culminar esta congregación, cada uno de nosotros de manera propia continuaremos conviviendo en el campo del alma y apoyando nuestra evolución colectiva. Con profunda gratitud agradecemos el uno al otro y a nuestros ancestros, ángeles, guías y guardianes de luz, recordando que cuando nos amamos a nosotros mismos, amamos y elevamos al prójimo, alentando la magia que acabamos de co-crear para que se expanda a nuestras comunidades, de manera que todos los seres se beneficien. And so we grab our candles and we close the circle and we remember that the Temple of Divine Perfection is there for whenever you need it. And if you want to leave stuff there now, it's great. If you want to take it back, you take it. But it's there for you to use at any time. Thank you for
We'll
joining
see
us.
you next time.